Good afternoon, guys. Welcome, my amazing seventh grade math students. It's Mr. Morrison. I've got a little lesson here for you today to just kind of help you out and give you some ideas on how to do your assignments. All right. If you'll look, our little lesson today is about creating a bar graph in order to make predictions. Okay. Again, hi everybody. All right, so what's a bar graph? It's a type of graph that shows the number of items in a specific category. So if you look at the bar graph here, these are the categories, and then these are the number of votes that the person gets. From this graph, we can make observations. First observation maybe could be who has the most votes. So I would look at the highest, and I can see that that'd be chocolate. And I would look for who has the least votes. Ooh, well, that would be the lowest bar, and that would be strawberries. It looks like strawberries got 12 votes. And how many did the chocolate get? It looks like more than 24, so I'm going to say 25, okay? I'm guessing 25. That's what makes bar graphs so powerful. What the visual that you get can tell you a lot of things, and you got to go with what you see. All right. From there, they can ask a variety of different questions. For instance, what's the total of all of these flavors? Come over here. That's what they wanted to know. Total number of people surveyed to the ones that chose berry. Well, first thing they did was add them all up, and you can see that all of these totaled 100. Then the next step they did, and this is very important, they took the number of berry lovers, 16, and they took the 100 and divided it by the 16, and they got the 6.25. So that's the ratio of total votes to berry lovers, okay, or people that like berries. All right, so that's it. That is it. Just a little notes piece, and now let's try one ourselves. Here we go. All right, so I got over here. I got this little problem for us. You can see I've got a verbal expression. I've got a little table and a graph. Let's start off by reading the question. It says here, Gilberto takes a survey about the little pets grown by his friends and records the data. Using the given information, write the title of the bar graph, label the axes, and then make the appropriate scale. And last but not least, graph the data. So let's do them in that order. Give me a second here. I'm going to make this graph just a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Now I'm going to do the first thing it says, give it a title. Well, let's not be too fancy. Let's just come in here and call this Little Pets. Unless you want to call it something else, that's fine too. So right in here, I'm going to go Little Pets. Make it easy. Awesome sauce. All right, let's go back to the question. Hope I didn't blur out your eyes by doing that. The second thing says label the axes. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm looking at, I've got all these different types of pets. So I could call one of my axes pets, and then over here I could say number of pets grown. Okay, number of pets grown. So let's go back to the graph. Let's start with the bottom, and what do you suppose I'm going to call these? That's right, types of pets. And then keep it simple, all right? And just call it pets. Over here on the next axis, this is what we call the y-axis. We can call these the number. Let's see how I'm going to write this. I'm going to write it over here. Number of pets grown, right? Number of pets. Okay, so that's specific enough. Now let's make sure that we have an idea of some more description of our axes. So where it says pets, everybody, what do you think that axis is called? You can call it the X, and it's also known as the dependent axes or the independent axes. Let's look at the number of pets axis. What do we call that? Hopefully you said Y, awesome. And that is known as the dependent axis, okay? Yay. The next thing we're gonna do is start, if you look at the deal, it says make the appropriate scale, or label the axes and make the appropriate scale. So down here, we gotta come over here, we're gonna do snail, lizard, and rats. So we got to write those down here. So I figure I'm going to skip around a little bit. So I'm going to make this snail. It's hard to write in this little space. Snail, lizard, and rats. Snail, lizard, and skip, rats. Man, these are some really kind of gross pets. Chameleon and frog. Chameleon and frog. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to call this, chameleon. Can I just say cam? And frog over here at the end. Yeah. All right. Now I need, this gets people sometimes, I need to know what I'm going to do with the y-axis. How am I going to number it? Well, I'm going to look over here and I see that my highest number is 18. So that means I'm going to want to number this so that I can fit my highest number before I get to the end of the graph. So let's try that. And I was thinking, I counted my lines and I had 10 lines here. If you count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 fitting into 18, it seemed like the best way to go was by twos. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this one, let me make this real big so I can write in this little space. Okay, so this is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yay! All right, I did it. Now the easier part. I'm going to use my graph here, and it's going to tell me how much to shade. So let me get you a good color of shade. What do you think? How about red, I guess? All right, so the snails, there were 8. So I look over here, I go to snails, and I'm going to go up till I get to 8. And that's it. If you can fill it in real good if you like, or just put a line through it, or put X's through the box. Lizards went up to 14, so I'm going to go up to 14. Okay. And then rats go to 12. Okay. Kept the numbers even. Chameleon is 4. So that tells us something right there. What do you suppose people think about chameleons? And frogs are 18. Whoa. There's a lot of frogs going on here. And this is why I like bar graphs, and I like looking at data like this rather than in a table or just free data, because now I got a really great picture of what's happening here. So for instance, if I was to ask you, well, which type of pet did the people do the most, grow the most? Well, right here, the highest, of course, it's frogs, and it goes to 18. And if I had, which one's the least? The chameleon. And then you can do differences, how many more votes than the other one. You could do that ratio that we talked about. We could find the total of each one. One thing we like to do when you're when you're making a table is to put the number above like that. The rats is 12. Sometimes that can be really handy. 14 and 8. All right? And then from there, you just start answering your questions, guys. Hey, listen, I'm going to post this for you to see. If you still have questions, log in the Google Classroom and go to Google Meets and find my office hours, and we can do some live tutoring. But definitely don't just hang back and stuff. Let us help you out. All right, you guys have a good rest of your day, and Mr. Morrison will talk to you later. Bye bye.